Hi, welcome to another episode of David Rides a Trike. I'm David, I'm riding a trike. I try to provide a little motivation to people with chronic illnesses and disabilities to find some fun form of outdoor exercise because doing so can be therapeutic and it turns out to be a lot of fun most of the time. Personally, I fall into both the chronically ill and disabled categories. I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic when I was a year and a half old, although I'm no longer a diabetic thanks to a pancreas transplant I had when I was 41 years old. I have had 3 organ transplants total. I've had stage 3 cancer. I'm legally blind. I've had a host of infections and surgeries and all kinds of stuff that has nearly done me in, but so far I'm still here and I'm riding this trike and making videos to try and get others to do something similar. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to sit on this bench over here in a moment and thought I'd show you, a lot of you have mentioned that you've purchased a recumbent trike or you ride a bike, and some of you are just getting started, and I thought I'd just go over some of the basics that you should always bring with you on a bike or trike ride. So without any more hesitation, let's see what that may entail. Okay, so what are the things I think you should always bring with you on any bike ride? First, and these actually aren't in any order, just however I pull them out of my bag, but be prepared for a flat tire. Bring with either replacement tubes or a patch kit. I prefer tubes. To me, it's easier. And also be sure you have tools to change your tube or get the tube out so you could patch it. It used to be that you could get most tires off by hand and get them back on again now. But the Schwalbe tires, especially, which I know a lot of you use, have a really strong bead, and it's really tough to do it by hand. So I highly recommend tire levers or one of these little doodads that you can use to pry up and under, and you go all the way around and it removes the tire. And not only bring it, but be prepared to know how to use it as well. Second, always have food and water. Obviously, a water bottle like this, a bike water bottle, is very easy to bring. This one's insulated, which is really nice. When it gets hot out, your liquid stays cool. Be careful, though. When it comes to eating and drinking, if you use energy drinks and energy bars or gel, watch the amount of carbs that you're taking in. The human body can consume anywhere from 30 to 60 carbs per hour, and carbs are what you need to give you energy when you're out doing some sort of exercise. But with those gels and bars and drinks, it's very easy to go over that amount in an hour. You want to be sure to stay hydrated, so you should drink often enough, but you don't want to go over that 30 to 60 carbs per hour threshold. If you do, a lot of times it can result in stomach cramps, really bad stomach ache, and other GI problems for the rest of your ride. Bananas and fig Newtons are actually ideal foods to bring with. They're relatively high in carbs, but they're not saturated with them like the energy bars and drinks are. So fig Newtons, bananas are really good. And I just have water in here now. What else? Empty baggie, you don't need that. Tools. The basics are Allen, some kind of an Allen tool. This one is actually probably about 30 years old. I've got a couple of these, so it gets all sizes of them in. So you want Allen keys, and then some sort of a all-in-one tool that will give you, some form of pliers. There's knives and regular screwdrivers, all kinds of things hidden in the handles of these things. So this comes in really handy. I got stuck once. I had a flat tire, and there was a little threaded washer that went around the valve that kind of held the, didn't do anything. It was intended to kind of hold the valve in place, through the rim. And when I went to take it off, somehow over time it had become tightened, and I could not remove it by hand. I didn't have a tool like this with me, and I was asking everyone who passed by on the trail if they had a pliers, and it took me a long time. I finally did find someone who had one, and that was the only way I could get this little washer off. Next, sunblock. Yeah, you put sunblock on at home before you leave, but it's really important to reapply it every hour and a half to 2 hours. Trust me, I'm going through radiation treatment now for 4 weeks, 5 days a week, to fight skin cancer that I have all over my chest. And you don't want to go through that kind of thing if you don't have to. So sunblock, reapply it every hour and a half to 2 hours. Next, in my wallet, obviously I've got an ID, credit cards, but also cash. You want to have some cash on you. You don't know where you're going to be sometimes, what you might need. You might come across a store or some circumstance where you need cash. So be sure you always have at least a few dollars in cash with you, 20 to 40 bucks, I would guess. But yeah, you definitely want cash with you. One final thing, here it is right in front of me. A phone. Besides the obvious benefit of being able to make phone calls, with a phone, a smartphone, you can get access to maps. If you get lost, find out where you are, how to get back, where stores are. You know everything you could do with a smartphone. It's an invaluable tool, provided, of course, you have service of some sort. But you really want a phone with you to possibly help you out of a jam. I think that's about it for me, for the must-haves. I think I said ID. In these times, I always bring with some antiseptic wipes if I need them. As well as in here I have a bottle of Purell spray-on cleaner that it's not a bad idea to have. And I think I said it before with the wallet, but an ID. An ID is extremely important, whether it's just a driver's license or state ID in your wallet, a road ID. It's a bracelet or a necklace specifically med for cyclists. It gives all your information if you're unable to provide that information if it's needed. If you have any medical conditions, I wear a medic alert chain that has a phone number and the basic information about my transplants, and any doctor or whatever can get access to information about my medical condition if they need it. So yeah, that's it. Those are the things I think you should always have with you. Oh, with the flat tire stuff, I have a pump attached to the back of my seat. I'm not going to take it off because it's really a pain in the butt to take it off and to put it back on. You can use a pump, have a pump, or CO2 cartridges are pretty easy to use when it comes to refilling. But you know, practice at home. If you're just starting out, be sure you learn how to change a tire. You know, the front tire on a trike, you could just flip it over on its side. You don't have to take the wheel off in order to remove the tube. Rear wheel, you do have to take the wheel off. And one thing to consider is you take the wheel off, well, you can't put the trike down if you have a derailleur, because the little cage, without the wheel, you put the trike down and it's going to rest on that, and you don't want that happening. It's going to bend, and that's going to cause all kinds of problems. So it's good to have something to prop up the rear frame. What I've done in the past is just take off my helmet and put it under there, and it keeps it up just enough, just high enough off the ground to make sure nothing gets damaged. So try and make sure you always have those things with you. And that's it for now. Please like, subscribe, all those things that I ask you to do to help out the channel. And I'll see you on the next ride. Bye-bye.